Citizens of the Nigelverse is Nigel once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. We're continuing our look at some old school SummerSlam matches, and you know what? We've had quite a few of the men's matches, but now it's time to give the women a turn. Or now, we're going not in WWE this time. We're actually taking it back to the WWF during a different time for women's wrestling. And sadly, women's wrestling wasn't quite at the level that it is today. Hey, and even though the women, I think, still have a very long way to go in terms of recognition, and thankfully, a lot of strides have been made. And just take a look at this match, for example. Now, this is not a bad match, but thankfully, this is just a match that kind of shows was in a way a changing of the guard, in a way, or at least he's where things are in terms of the evolution of women's wrestling, especially in WWE, involving two women who were definitely pioneers, in a way. Of that being Alundra Blayze and Bull Nakano, and we see them meet for the women's championship at SummerSlam 1994. So, of course, as always, I am not professional wrestling reviewer or analyst or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I had a pretty decent time with this match. Getting a snapshot of what it was like, kind of at that time. I'm time for women's wrestling, especially with these two. Considering, excuse me, I have not seen, to my knowledge, I have not seen a match involving either of these women, which is disappointing on my part. I'm kind of disappointed in myself for that. But maybe this is incentive to check out some of their other matches. They did have a very lengthy rivalry, but and in some cases a bit of an important rivalry as well. Um, but perhaps this match, excuse me, will be even more incentive to check out some more of their matches. But as for this match, let's get right into it. Now, if you've seen these reviews of mine, excuse me, before, you kind of know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the match. How do we get here? Well, really, this was a bit less Alundra Blayze Bull Nakano. That's what it morphed into. But it was more Alundra Blayze versus Luna Vachon. Now, Alundra Blayze was women's champion at the time. She held on to it for a while. I think this was the reign. If not, it was no, because Bull Nakano eventually does win it. So, she doesn't win it here. She loses this match, but she eventually does win it from Alundra Blayze. But Alundra Blayze was women's champion at the time. Famously, she would take the women's championship eventually to WCW, where she would then throw it in the trash. But Alundra Blayze was women's champion at the time, and she had been feuding with Luna Vachon for quite a while. Well, and Luna Vachon was unable to take the women's championship from her, so she essentially brought in Bull Nakano to her. I don't know if you want to necessarily use the term representative, if yeah, the official term isn't quite coming to me, but pretty much to win the championship instead. And so, these two had been feuding for quite a while. They had some matches on Raw. I believe that, as the commentary alluded to, they had a match on Raw before the event, if I'm not mistaken. And so, now it's leading to this event. They would go on to have more matches, including, like I said, Bull Nakano eventually winning the women's championship. Uh, as for this match, what I liked is that it was very fast paced, very exciting, very good pacing, and kind of showing and kind of the best of both women and their style. I think work well together. Kind of an influence of that kind of Joshi style, which both women are very familiar with. It, they're like the Japanese women's wrestling type style. Both women very familiar with that style, and I think it translated here. Her and the dynamic is very well told in this match, with the Alundra Blayze being a lot more fast paced, a bit quicker, or more of like in a way a high flyer, versus Bull Nakano being showing off more of the strength and the power and everything. I think the dynamic really I think it's really well told in this match, and I think it comes across really well in terms of this match and how things are laid out for this match. And I think both women pull off their roles really well. We do have some interference from Luna Vachon, but otherwise she kind of just stands there yelling the whole time. Um, but yeah, seeing seeing how these styles really come together and kind of translate into this match was very cool to see, very fun to see. Which we see plenty of it in the men's wrestling at this time. Maybe not quite as much because we are in the new generation era, but it's also really cool to see it in the women's wrestling at this time as well. In terms of what I didn't quite like as much about this match is very short. Right, is about 8 minutes. It's 8 minutes 10 seconds, which is ridiculously short compared to most of the other matches on. Or actually, hey, actually, no, I was gonna say most of the matches on this card, but never mind. It's actually the third longest match on SummerSlam, if you can believe it. It's the longest match goes to Brett Noah, and that's the steel cage match, which is not, if I believe, on the agenda for this year, but maybe next year. But yeah, only 8 minutes. It does suck that the women weren't given as much time. Although I guess looking at the SummerSlam card for 1994, it gets kind of going around. We are in the new generation era, so it doesn't really surprise me. But I do wish they got more time, but I guess it is incentive for them to cram as much as they could in their allotted time, and I think that's very much what they are able to do. The other thing is that Jerry Lawler's commentary. Now, commentary doesn't get brought up that often with these reviews because oftentimes I try my best to tune them out unless it's like very notable for good or for bad. And I think in Jerry Lawler's case, his constant annoying jokes, especially about Bull Nakano's hair, were very annoying and admittedly a little telling of the times. There are certain elements of how they address like Bull and everything, especially her being the heel in this match that don't age very well. But especially Jerry Lawler's commentary. Now Jerry Lawler's commentary has always been the subject of kind of debate for years, whether it's good or very bad. And I think we've definitely seen a lot of examples of both, but I think here is where it's very egregious and annoying. And you do have Vince McMahon on commentary to kind of bounce off of that to kind of be the straight man to Jerry Lawler's antics. But sadly, Vince McMahon, I have heard him do the commentary before. I've reviewed a couple matches where Vince McMahon was on commentary, which he was on for a little while until he was like very much on screen in authority figure as like the chairman of WWE and everything. But Vince McMahon definitely ain't no Jim Ross, uh, and him pinging off of Jerry, it it made for a bit of a rough time, at least in the commentary booth. But yeah, I think that's going to really do it for this review. I think in terms of the historical significance and the fact that it's relatively fun, short but sweet, I would say I definitely would recommend checking out this match. I'm glad I definitely did, and I definitely got to check out some more matches between these two. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you never miss an upload, and let me know in the comment section below what are your thoughts on the match, my review of the match. Do you like the match? Do you like my review of the match? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.